How would you describe yourself in one word?
I guess I could say quiet.
Lonely.
I feel lousy.
Insane.
A bit hard-headed.
Just overall apathetic when it comes to things.
Growing up, I've always been a quiet, antisocial kid. Like kindergarten, not many friends. Elementary school, 0 friends.
I choose not to be social anymore. I kind of distance myself.
Like I refuse to walk over to you. I don't know why, but you know, that's just how it's always been.
It's kind of made me very sensitive. I become very, very sad all the time, very emotional.
I would try and go to talk to people, but people wouldn't want me there. So like, why would I even try? They just look at me weird as I'm walking there. So I'm like, let me not even go over there. Just turn around and go about my business.
I feel this way because I always feel like other people have it better than me, are capable of controlling themselves, or can just do more than I can, mentally and physically.
I feel this way because every day as I go on, I just feel like my mind and myself, my body and my soul is deteriorating.
They're just bigger, stronger, smarter than I am.
Everything I do and I feel and I say, I just feel crazy and insane.
Well, low self-esteem just means that you as an individual do not esteem yourself, so you don't place too much value on who you are. It could be you don't believe in yourself, you don't trust yourself to make the right decisions, you don't think you're important, you don't feel loved.
An inner feeling about yourself that you aren't good enough. Your feelings of yourself are dangerously low. It's affecting many parts of your life.
The most recent time I felt very low, I would say it was yesterday. I just laid in bed yesterday. It was just a long, horrible day, you know, and I felt so low. I felt everything about me was wrong and everything I did was horrible, and I just disappoint people day after day. I just wonder how I could live with myself knowing that.
Well, someone that doesn't have a self-worth, self-respect can lead to a lot of negative behavior.
I tend to overthink things daily. My looks, my weight. I always think that I'm too fat. I always feel like someone's going to make fun of my weight. So I breathe in or keep my chest up so that I look taller or skinnier.
Barely smile. And they wonder, like, why don't you smile anymore? Like, what happened? Like, did something, like, terrible happen? But then I never want to tell them. My parents too, they don't even know. Like, they ask me my dad asks me 24/7, what's wrong? Like, you're acting like not yourself.
I feel that low self-esteem can lead to self-injury, feelings of depression, anxiety, stress. In very severe cases, low self-esteem can lead to things like suicide ideation, attempted suicide, things like that.
It's affected my relationship with my friends and family to the sense where they look down upon me and at the same time they pressure me. My family now recently they've started like talking a lot about it more with me, which is great in the sense where it helps me a lot. It's sort of like almost a therapeutic thing. But at the same time, when it comes to my friends and like distant family, they always thought of me as the happy kid, and now seeing me all balled up inside with emotion, being so apathetic, being like a zombie, they don't know what to think of me anymore. And that worries me the most is because I feel like I've lost the connection.
So I think in the long run, if you don't have a good concept of who you are, and like I mentioned before, it could be with your strengths and your weaknesses. You need to know yourself as a whole and accept who you are.
If you If you probably went back to ask my younger self, he would lie and say it was the end of middle school. But I know now that it was probably beginning of 6th grade.
I can't really think of one specific time. It branches out towards two moments. The first one would be as a little kid, like family gatherings, Christmas, Thanksgiving, stuff like that. None of my cousins ever wanted me around.
My mom, when I was about 10 years old, she noticed that I kept my head down a lot and I slouched. And she would always be like, how come your head's down and you're slouching? I remember back when you were younger, you used to be more active and outgoing.
I realized I had low self-esteem is because I stopped going out with like my opinions. I stopped like expressing myself. I kept quiet. I kept to myself because I was afraid of what everyone would think of me. I was afraid of like rejection.
I tried to hang out with my cousins, they would just shove me to the side. If my mom didn't come and say, hey, let him in, like they wouldn't sit there. They wouldn't let me be with them.
She told me that back in the day, I used to just have that go where I'd go and say hello to strangers and give them hugs. And now I just don't feel comfortable talking to even my friends.
And I was in denial for like at least 2 years after that, up until like the beginning of freshman year of high school.
I had a cousin that was a year older than me. They accepted him more than they accepted me. And then I started believing like, wow, my only family don't even want me around.
I went to tutoring around where I live, or where I lived at the moment, and they stayed with me for about a month, and I showed no progress. So they took my parents with me, and they told me that I wasn't going to improve at all. This was going to be the best I'll ever do, and that they should just get used to who I am and how I am, because I'm not going to move up, I'm not going to move forward. I'm stuck in this position, and I'm just not going to make it in life.
You know, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, I wasn't I was known, but I was known kind of as the butt of the joke. I was known as the fat kid. I was kind of teased because of it.
And then the second moment would probably be elementary school, where I got made fun of a lot. Whether it was my buck teeth, how skinny I was. I guess people claim that I have a pretty long neck.
My low self-esteem has caused a huge amount of stress in my life. Now it's caused so much anxiety within me that I really can't do anything without having so much anxiety, such as when I have to go to class, I have so much anxiety inside me that it takes me a while to actually finally calm down a little bit when I can finally go to class, which in return ends up having me come late to class all the time.
I remember like the first day of middle school, I made fun of myself. I kind of made myself the joke whenever I went up to my friends. The only time they'd ever talk to me was when I made fun of myself. I kind of like introduced myself as a joke. Come and tease me, but in the end that ruined me mentally and emotionally. I was very sensitive in the sense where the littlest thing ruined me. I was never really a happy person after that.
Ways that I've been preventing the low self-esteem has been exercising and eating healthy. I always try to think positive. I look at the things that I have instead of looking at the things that I don't have. I always think, well, I have a roof over my head. I have a family that loves me. I have friends that care about me. This past year has been a little bit of a turnaround. A lot of good has been happening. They finally declared me as a normal kid, not in special ed. I'm taking advanced placement classes, so all the stress of being left behind is gone. Because now I just got to keep remembering that to some extent I'm where I want to be, and I have to stop thinking that I can't do what other kids could do, because I've proved to myself that I can.
My hobbies consist mainly of filmmaking, editing films, and I like to do a lot of like cartoon art, and I like to do a lot of like thumbnail sketches. I kind of don't use my hobbies a lot, if that makes sense. I don't go out. I don't actually do that much anymore. because the sense now, I always have this sense of like fear that people are gonna ridicule everything I do.
But I've used some ways I've tried to cope with it. Sadly, they're not the best ways to cope with it, such as the fact that I've picked up smoking a lot lately. And I know it's not the best thing, but it's the only way my anxiety can just disappear for a little bit.
The best advice I can give you is don't keep it to yourself. Talk about it. Don't let it suffer for you for years like I did. You're gonna become an emotional wreck. It's come to the point where I can't even look myself in the mirror anymore.
To some extent, I'm where I want to be, and I have to stop thinking that I can't do what other kids could do, because I've proved to myself that I can. My advice to someone who's suffering from low self-esteem is to find someone and to talk to someone. Just branch out and think positive. If you keep telling yourself, I'm stupid, I'm not gonna do it, I'm stupid, I can't do it, I should just kill myself, then that's probably what's gonna happen.
The best advice I could give to anyone is not kids that suffer low self-esteem, but it's to people. Just people should be nicer to other people, especially kids, because the way you act towards someone, you don't know how it's gonna affect someone. And I just don't want any more kids to suffer low self-esteem. It's a horrible thing to go through. And if you, as a person, have the power to prevent that, then I believe that you should go and prevent that low self-esteem and just be nicer to everyone.
Off the top of my head, definitely find some support system, find some adults in their lives that are gonna mentor them, that are gonna pull what's inside of them out and show them and help them see. If you stay wallowing in it and me oh my and oh I'm no good, and it's not going to help.
My advice would be to tell a trusted friend, a teacher, a parent, a priest, whoever you're close with that you trust, so that you can get immediate help for this issue. And sometimes it's as simple as talking it through with a friend or a parent or a teacher or a guidance counselor. Sometimes it's more. Sometimes students need a little bit more help to get through their low self-esteem.
I think when we have a low self-esteem, we tend to look at all the negative things we have. But, human beings, we have good qualities and not so good qualities. And I think that people with low self-esteem need to begin to look at those good qualities and try to find those good qualities in themselves. But you really need to talk about it. You really need to find some good friends that are going to support you, get involved in things that you're good at, so that you can see, wow, I can do some good things, and volunteer and get into positive things.
But either way, I say open up about it, share your feelings so that you can get help immediately.
And a lot of self-esteem problems are the way we look and the way we carry ourselves also. So that's important. It's not all about the physical either. It's what's inside of you. What's inside of you is good and positive. That's going to come out and show. You're going to be a confident person. You're going to find worth in yourself and good stuff.